Qatar marked the second straight race in a grueling final triple-header to close the 2025 season and was a critical moment for all three title combatants. And it was Red Bull's quick thinking that took its top gun Max Verstappen to a second straight win and a step closer to a fifth straight crown, as the title fight goes down to the wire after rival McLaren shot itself in the foot by staying out under the safety car, making it two consecutive weekends of costly errors from the Papaya squad, following its double disqualification in Las Vegas. The Dutchman came home almost 8 seconds up on McLaren's Oscar Piastri, the sprint winner, in a race with mandated 25-lap tyre stints due to maximum wear levels discovered on the 2024 tyres. Verstappen started third on the grid and claimed second from McLaren's Lando Norris into turn 1. But his race was won when Sauber's Nico Hülkenberg's lap 7 exit triggered the safety car. And only the McLarens stayed out for strategic flexibility that cost them time, Lando Norris a podium, and Piastri a surefire win that left him speechless on the cool-down lap and dark in the aftermath. I think in hindsight it's pretty obvious what we would have done, but I'm sure we'll discuss it as a team, he said. Carlos Sainz was third for Williams' second podium visit of 2025, having climbed from 7th on the grid, and then defended against Norris in the closing stages despite damage. Today there were a few opportunities out there for us to grab, and we grabbed all of them by executing a perfect race, he said. Mercedes strengthened its grip on second in the Constructors' standings, but had a tough race, with Andrea Kimi Antonelli fifth after a massive moment on the penultimate lap saw him passed by Norris, while George Russell dropped from 4th on the dirty side of the grid to 8th on lap 1, but fought through to finish 6th. We battled back where we could, but we saw on Saturday just how difficult it is to overtake here, Russell said. Two-time world champion Fernando Alonso scored both his and the Aston Martin team's first points since Austin, lifting the green squad to 7th in the Constructors' standings above Haas. Ferrari's Charles Leclerc stayed in the points from 10th on the grid with a run to 8th, 4 places up on teammate Lewis Hamilton, ahead of Liam Lawson and Yuki Tsunoda, who scored for the first time since Austin. With the Japanese driver's 33-point total a far cry from teammate Verstappen's performance, which includes 7 wins. To the drivers' standings, and Verstappen has moved up to second behind Norris, who needs a podium in Abu Dhabi to win the title, with 12 points the gap to the Dutchman, and Piastri 16 adrift. Onto the Constructors, and Mercedes is 33 points ahead of Red Bull and 77 clear of Ferrari, which is now locked into 4th place. Aston Martin is now 12 points behind Racing Bulls. The sun finally sets this week on F1 2025, with the pinnacle of motorsport closing out the campaign at its traditional finale in UAE capital Abu Dhabi. The record-equaling 24-round calendar has been an epic ride for the 10 teams, with the season moving quickly from the Asia-Pacific to the Middle East, through Europe, the Americas, and back to the Middle East. With Abu Dhabi the last leg of a final triple-header, one of 3 in this stacked 2025 season that also featured no less than 5 double-headers. Of course, the main focus in 2025 season finale will be the fight for the driver's title, and it's a stoush in the desert between McLaren drivers Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri and Red Bull's Max Verstappen. Norris, who is 16 points ahead of his teammate and 12 up on Verstappen, just needs a podium to lift the crown, while the Dutchman is in the hunt for one of sport's great comebacks. Norris will be hoping for a carbon copy repeat of 2024's edition, when he dominated the season finale to deliver McLaren its first Constructors' title since 1998, unleashing papaya pandemonium. The Brits' victory from pole position put the crowd out of its rival Ferrari's reach, despite both drivers on the podium, including Carlos Sainz in his last race for the Scuderia, Charles Leclerc up from 19th. But McLaren's run to the title was a one-horse race after Oscar Piastri was punted out of second place at the first corner by an ambitious move from Verstappen. With the stewards determining that Car 1 attempted to overtake Car 81 on the inside into Turn 1, but never got far enough alongside. Both cars collided shortly after the apex. Behind McLaren will be another dogfight for runner-up in the Constructors' standings, with Mercedes gunning for the place over Red Bull. Though whatever happens, Abu Dhabi's checkered flag will mean there's nothing to dwell on, with 2026 looming large. As so eloquently put last year by Mercedes technical director James Allison, who wanted to move on from finishing fourth in the 24 standings.
All the focus is looking forward, and that is the great thing about the sport. Whatever happened in the past is in the past, and you get your chance to redeem yourself with the next car, the next race, the next season, and hopefully it's close enough at the front that a good winter will see us do that and be fighting right from the start of the next season.
Located 30 minutes from downtown Abu Dhabi, the 5.281-kilometer track has 16 turns, 9 left and 7 right, with a top speed of 330 kilometers per hour. Kevin Magnussen reset the lap record last year for Haas in his final race for the team. There are still just 2 DRS activation zones, both on the back straights between turns 7 and 8 and turns 10 to 11. And 2 DRS detection points, one before turn 5 and the other at turn 8, as the track's major passing opportunities. A technical track, F1 under lights, and the title battle on the line. It's time for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Abu Dhabi's gargantuan Yas Marina circuit is an enduring F1 host, with 2025 marking its 17th edition overall since 2009 and 14th season finale. But before F1 touched down in the UAE, the Autonomous Racing League was at the high-tech track in late November for its second annual car race. And the cars, which are modified Japanese Super Formula chassis with racing AI dialed in from teams, saw major improvements in performance.
What we've seen from last year to this year, first of all, the car improved remarkably. We have a very stable chassis, very stable computers, sensors, and so on. The conditions are perfect. A2L made a great job here to give the best boundary conditions to test our code.
That jump in performance can be measured well beyond data, with ex-F1 driver Daniil Kvyat doing on-track demonstrations against the AI car that began 2024 testing 3.5 minutes off the pace and finished in 2025 within 1 second of the Russian.
You know, the thought of it, yes, for sure is bizarre, but in the end of the day, like now, especially when the gap becomes smaller and smaller and their lines look more and more realistic and their braking points and everything are much closer to myself, it just looks like another target in front of you, which you're just trying to chase.
11 teams from tech companies and education institutions from around the world flew to Abu Dhabi for the competition, but just 6 qualified for the main event, with the remaining 5 relegated to the silver race.
The green light is on, and A2RL Season 2.
The start thrilled, with the pace impressive for autonomous racing, and saw a pass for the lead as early as lap 2, when Italian team Unimore overtook Munich into turn 6.
We're going side by side in autonomous racing, Unimore!
But just 10 laps later, Unimore's race came undone when it dived past backmarker Constructor into turn 1.
And we've got contact into the wall!
The shunt brought out the red flags.
They're coming into the braking zone, a lapped car in front of us tries to get out of the way. And then
the lead then returned back to Munich for a second straight A2RL win.
Here That's it for now for this year. A2RL 2020.
Making this one of the most exciting series to watch in future, not just for the expected gains, but the unpredictable on-track racing. Thanks for watching. To stay up to speed on all things Formula One, make sure you hit the subscribe button.